Dear colleagues, good evening, everyone. Well, for some of you, it's evening, and good afternoon for those of you who are in a different time zone, where it's still afternoon. So let's check the connectivity. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I hope that today we have better sound. Okay, I see tens, I see pluses. Well, theoretically, we should have a very, very good sound, way better than it was before, because now I have a new gadget, which improves the quality of my voice, well, sound. Well, I see like hundreds of thousands instead of just giving me a 10 as for the sound quality. Okay, so friends, today is the 22nd of February. Sunday, which is the time for our meeting, and I'm very pleased to see you in such numbers, almost 1,000 people watching us live, which is good news, which is a sign of your activity, not being indifferent, and having the passion for the project. Well, let's talk about the procedure. We're going to have a short yet informative meeting today. We are going to talk about 5-6 talking points that I wanted to discuss with you, and they will relate to our current intermediate results of optimizing funding of GTI to scale the technology UST. We will briefly go through the previous meeting with Dr. Unitsky, and also I'm going to answer some of your technical questions and requests that you've sent recently. And at the end of the meeting, I'm going to make an announcement of a big event that we've been waiting for such a long time together, and this is the format of today's meeting. So far, for now, sorry, we're going to go through all the while we'll be going through the talking points, we will disable the chat, so we will not distract each other, and this is going to be the format and the practice that we're going to stick to in the future, okay? By the way, we are going to enable the chat when we'll need your feedback. And right now, well, someone says you have the sound quality is as good as the quality of the technology. So please keep the chat open right now. And dear colleagues, tell me, how did you like the previous meeting with Dr. Unitsky that was held, what, a week ago, right? Last Sunday, we met Dr. Unitsky, I and you, where he shared his vision and plans for how the string transportation technology, and not only UST technology, is going to be implemented or put into life on our planet. So that was an absolutely new format, an absolutely new direction, course that was announced in the GTI strategy. So I already see your reaction regarding the information that we heard from Dr. Unitsky. That was quite an interesting meeting. Someone says, excellent, very important meeting. I see comments in Vietnamese as well. Flames and fires, super, very powerful, very informative, excellent. Well, and quite a lot of hearts. Someone says, very powerful. Someone says, it was complex, but it was majestic. Well, yes, complex yet implementable. That's how I would put it. Dennis wrote, we need to start building our own track. It's time, right, to start doing it. Well, a couple of years ago, I predicted, probably in 2017, I shared my personal opinion where I said that crowd investing was going to be applicable for the implementation of commercial projects as well. But what Dr. Unitsky said last time in part relates to crowd investing, and also it is important to understand here the economic feasibility and profitability for GTI and us as investors in GTI. So Oleg wrote quite an interesting colleague. If you didn't interrupt Dr. Unitsky, it would be even better. Well, it was supposed to be a dialogue, right? A live dialogue between me and Dr. Unitsky. And also, there have been some let's say problems with the speed of information transfer. So sometimes I had to interject. But if you, dear colleagues, think that it wasn't entirely correct on my side, well, nobody's perfect, right? We have room to improve, and I'm no exception here. So I take all criticism normally. And if for some of you my interjections, my questions caused discomfort, or it wasn't pleasant for some of you, I'm sorry. But okay, I'll work on myself, because we're going to have more meetings with Dr. Unitsky. We're going to have them regularly. I will give you more information about it later, about the format of those meetings. But again, for some of you, it might have been uncomfortable. I'm sorry for that. I know for sure that Dr. Unitsky quite enjoyed our event that we had, meeting that we had last week. He is quite pleased with the format and the outcomes that we are having right now, the results that we're having right now. Okay, friends. Thank you very much for your feedback. Thanks for taking Dr. Unitsky's information this way. And here I would like to emphasize some of the points. Okay, Sergey said, Maxim, well done. The thing is that Dr. Unitsky says lots of things and you try to be more specific. Well, I wanted to pinpoint your attention on some of the most important parts, right, for you. But Dr. Unitsky had to be specific, had to go into details, because without certain technical details, we wouldn't be able to have a full picture, right, of the situation. So sometimes you need to be very detailed in order to have the full puzzle completed. It was a kind of a nice symbiosis, in my opinion. So no harm done. But again, guys, if for some of you it was uncomfortable, I'll work on myself. I'll do better. So friends, we have more than 1,000 people live. That's great. So let's go through the main talking points that I wanted to emphasize today as of the result of the chat that we had with Dr. Unitsky. First, friends, we are fully aware that around a month ago we put the funding optimization plan in motion in order for us to be able to help the group of companies to implement technologically and economically the UST technology. So the program was launched on 25th of January. Today is the 22nd of February. The plan is in motion, is going on. And what Dr. Unitsky said last time is a clear proof that this plan allows GTI and the author of the technology to plan a rational transition or going of the technology into the market by creating a infrastructural development corporation, establishing an infrastructural development corporation. And we need to understand the business mechanism behind it, how it's going to work. The GTI group of companies, represented by the engineering company UST, is going to establish a corporation in a certain locality, region. It can be in any region, CIS area, Asia, India, for example, Africa, the United States, doesn't matter the location. The company is going to create a standalone entity that will initialize commercial projects and will come in with ready-to-use solutions for the government, local government and states. And in this situation, a huge role was played by Dr. Unitsky's experience, his 50 years experience of working on his project and in promoting his own technology. where working with governmental structures takes too much time sometimes. Of course, that work is being done right now. It's necessary. You fully know that the company has a lot of representative offices around the world. There is quite a lot of information on the official web resources, on the website of the UST engineering company, for example, on YouTube channel. There is a lot of information. So that work is being done. I'm talking about negotiations, commercial projects. There is a regular communication with governmental entities, but it's just one of the avenues or possibilities of how to bring the technology to the market. But as I said last time, Dr. Unitsky took the initiative here. He took the reins in his own hands and started steering the company in the right course for the best outcome direction. And establishing Infrastructural Development Corporation will allow the investors to have around 20-25% stake in such corporation, in such projects implemented by such corporations. And it is important to understand that the main business of the engineering company, UST Incorporated, is about carrying out engineering work. And the first revenue, as you know, is payment for design, for feasibility studies, everything related to engineering as such. And here we have several sources of income that we as investors are going to have. The first source of income is the design itself, where the engineering design, whereas the Infrastructural Development Corporation, upon the project initiation, will receive payment for the engineering design, which is revenue for GTI. And in view of the current business model, where crowd investing is going to ensure that operational costs are covered by the funds raised, so all the money coming from as payment for the engineering design will be profit to be shared with investors. This is A. But when the projects start implementing and being put into operation, we're going to have a 20-25% stake in those projects, at least 20% in those projects. I guess that's a better way to put it. So by doing this, we're also laying the foundation for another way of capitalization of our investment or commercialization. And that entire process wouldn't be possible, dear friends, if we hadn't been active throughout the recent months in that very difficult period of GTI group of companies development. Why I'm saying difficult, complex? Because we all know the history, right? We have 1,100 people here already, and we know what happened when the main investment partner in the most important period decided to shift their focus, which led to insufficient funding for the company at the most important stage for the company's development. Why I'm saying the most important? Because, well, in the last 10 years, we were able to help Dr. Unitsky create a technology thanks to fundraising. And that happened. The company now has 2 ready-to-use commercial projects, certified. Standards have been adopted. The company has already a commercial project up and running in Aquarel Park. A second project is being built in resort Sosny. But we know that the money coming to the company for those projects do not fully cover all the operational costs. And if the funds raised through crowd investing wouldn't be enough to cover those costs, then we'll understand what kind of a result such insufficient funding could have. Disastrous results, right? So tell me, colleagues, I'm asking you a rhetorical question. Suppose we built a restaurant, but we do not bring products and we don't have clients there. What would happen to such a restaurant? Would that restaurant be able to receive profits? Of course not. For example, if we built a house, or better, we lay the foundation of the house, but we didn't start the construction. Nobody would buy the square footage, right, in the future house if it hasn't been yet fully built. Well, we can make a lot of metaphors here, of course, but I wanted to emphasize one important thing, that without funding the technologies entering the market, so all of the things achieved so far would simply be wasted. And there wouldn't be much prospects for us at all. But thanks to us, thanks to our efforts, we can probably pat ourselves on our backs. We can take off our hats to ourselves for uniting and doing what we did. In 5 days, we achieved the result that we weren't able to do in like half a year at least. In 5 days, we were able to solve the task, the funding task for the company, to be able to come out of the critical situation it was in. And right now, thanks to the optimization of funding plan that was proposed by our platform, and that right now is being in motion, it helps create a very good safety net, not in the form of just money for the sake of money, for being there, but we're talking about feeding the scaling process so that the company could transition to a stable commercial rails. Well, not rails, tracks, right? Because after all, we're talking about string tracks here and not rails as such. So in the near future, we will see the tangible results. We will be observing it in the next half a year, how this funding optimization plan, what kind of fruit it brought, that it will come to fruition. And it was indeed done in the most in the wisest way. That was one of the most intelligent, wisest decisions to how we could come out of this situation to ensure further scaling up. That was probably the only way. And I'm not going to talk about discounts right now because it has been explained on so many occasions, and we gave all the arguments and reasoning behind such high discounts, because if we hadn't done it, then even if we offered discounts 10 or 110, they wouldn't help us at all. They wouldn't change the situation. So comparing the risks of 2014 and 2026, early 2026, the risks of 2026 outweighed the risks of 2014. So those were very, very fair terms, in my opinion, because the situation that we were in early this year outweighed the situation in gravity, outweighed the situation of 2014. Because I'm gonna quote Dr. Unitsky here, we had nothing to lose back in 2014, and now we're one of the biggest engineering companies. We're a company creating a new sector, a new type of transportation with the most powerful engineering school. No exaggeration here. And indeed, we had something to lose here. So the risks are not comparable to the risks we had in 2014. So we are going forward with confidence. We know why it's being done, and the results speak for themselves. We consistently creating right now the financial independence of the company for the next at least 6 to 10 months, because it is related closely to crowd investing efforts. I mean, right now we're about to launch the Micron Global marketing platform, and while the company is being developed, the platform is gaining momentum, we need to provide that financial independence for the company in terms of for Dr. Unitsky not to worry about not only just working, but making progress. So, dear partners, I don't think we're not going to repeat it like a dozen more times. I think by now it has settled in our minds, and we now see the cause and effect relationship, why we decided to shift to such a new format of cooperation. And I did speak at length about it during my previous meetings. I just wanted to summarize it once again. Probably for some of you, it's new information because you probably joined us like last week. And I'm sure everything is being done for a reason, because we always take into account our investors' interests and the realities we're in. We're also keeping our fingers on the pulse. Well, at least I surely am, and I always try to understand the mood of our investors and understand the wishes of our investors. For example, take into consideration that our Vietnamese partners are playing a critical role in creating that, in implementing that funding optimization process. We heard their request and we decided to extend our promo discount until the 26th of February, inclusive, because our Vietnamese colleagues, well, overall, people who live in Asia, they recently celebrated the Lunar New Year. And of course, when you are celebrating a new year, you spend the time with your family, you taking a break. So that's why we decided to extend that promotional discount offer until the 26th of February. So we decided not to change anything. And colleagues, you still have time and opportunity to catch up with the rest of the investors, because I saw how beautiful your New Year celebrations were in Vietnam, in China. It was like fireworks, and it was simply amazing. And I think right now you've rested, you gained strength, and now with more enthusiasm and better spirits, you will be conquering new heights. And we're giving you this opportunity. And also, dear colleagues, I wanted to say on a separate note that we had some technical problems with bank card payments. We partially addressed that problem. We can now receive payments in with bank cards in certain currencies, not in all of the currencies. Hopefully, we're going to address that problem for Europe and for the rest of the world, because it's very important for us. But considering that we all live in the 21st century, we should be handy with other payment methods. And you can find tutorials how to, for example, use crypto on YouTube or any other websites. So I mentioned that we're extending the promo offer until the 26th of February. And let me make an announcement. On the 26th of February, we were to launch the start of the registrations on the marketing platform Micron Global, where on the 26th of February, we will be able to start registering on the platform. This is not yet the start of sales, but for now, registration only. What's going to happen? How is going to happen? What's going to happen after the launch with the RSW Systems? I will all tell you about it on the 26th of February. It's going to be one of the most important events of the year. So please schedule, add it to your schedules. We will give you the exact time, but I think it's going to happen at 5 p.m. Minsk time, 1500 hours, so 3 p.m. in Central European time, so that it would be more or less convenient for all time zones. So please add it to your schedules, calendars in advance. It's going to happen on the 26th of February 2026. There will be a limited number of spots there. It will be a 3,000 room Zoom room, so plan your time ahead for you to be there. in the very start of the new stage of development of crowd investing. And the launch of Micron Global platform is exactly that start, that beginning. Also, on the 26th of February, I would like to reiterate, we're starting the registrations. But how it's going to happen afterwards will be mentioned on the 26th of February. What kind of sales we're going to have, what kind of interesting marketing privileges we're going to offer. All of it will be mentioned during that meeting. Before the 26th of February inclusive, we will be working on the RSW Systems platform on the terms that we've just extended. What's going to happen next? How it's going to happen? Well, you'll learn on the 26th of February. It's going to be a very pleasant surprise for you, I'm sure. And you'll once again see for yourselves that we're very loyal to our clients and we are very grateful as a platform management, as I am grateful as a person who represents the interest of all of our investors on our platform. I'm taking into account our interest, and I'm going to make a very pleasant announcement for you. There will be some very pleasant news updates for you, I promise you. And to an extent, novelties. I think you will get more than you expect. But what is going to be precisely? Well, you will learn it on the 26th of February. Okay, as for the other technical nuances, I told you about the bank cards, bonus referrals or referrals, bonus rewards. Remember, we were subject to DDoS attacks for a period. We had some shutdowns on the website. And if you paid for your installment plans early, and if you didn't get your extra bonuses, don't worry. Our financial department, our customer support department have been very, very busy, and they handled hundreds, if not thousands, of requests, tickets, and we credited all the bonuses. Don't worry, you will get your due bonuses. If you are entitled to 20% more for early termination, you will get them. If 15, you will get 15, and so on. Don't worry, we will handle all the requests. And I wanted to also to point out the specifics of the current promotional offer. Right now, you can purchase an unlimited number of packages for any amount. And you can lock in that bonus. So what does it give you? For example, in February, you pay for your make your first payment for $1,000 package, and you pay $200 as first payment. And then in March, you decided to terminate that package early and make a second payment to cover the entire amount. You will get 15% on top. If you decided to repay the entire package in April, which is third payment, you will get 10% on top. And those terms apply for all packages purchased before the 26th of February. And then, after you fully pay for your package, you will get a second chance to make that same purchase. And again, you can pay it in one go, in two goes, or three goes, and then or more. And then you will get a chance to make a third purchase, repeat purchase. And you will have a 1 month window. And then you will also know how Micron Global is going to work, what's going to happen on RSW Systems. You will see that the current terms, the current discounts are probably once in a lifetime offer. And unprecedented offer, I'd say. So make the best use of the current discounts. You will see that such discounts will never be repeated again. Use it to your own advantage, use it to attract new investors. Well, I guess that's what we should all be doing by default as the core asset of the GTI investors community. So don't forget about it. On a separate note, I wanted to mention one thing. I receive 50 or 60 messages per day, DM, messages, and 90% of those messages are technical. I have a very, very kind request to you all. If you write to me directly, it doesn't mean that your technical issue will be magically solved right away. It will still go through the standard procedure, as if you wrote to the customer support. So I have a very, very insistent, urgent request. If your issues, if your questions are technical, please refer them to our specialist from the customer support. That's where you should go to with your technical questions. If I'm going to answer technical questions every single day, I won't have enough time to do other things. Probably I will have to relocate to the customer support and be a customer support agent. I'm not saying that I'm not open to communication with you guys, person to person, but it's not reasonable usage of my time and your time too, because, as I said, technical issues should be directed to customer support. That's the standard procedure. They will anyways be redirected to the customer support. And those of you who wrote to me probably know it already, that I refer you to the customer support. So again, I kindly ask you not to write to me about your technical issues, because you're also wasting your own time, because you spend time on first writing to me and then writing to the customer support instead of going directly to the customer support. I hope that's clear. This is my personal kind request to all of our partners and colleagues. If it's a question about the marketing, if it's about arranging a personal meeting, if it's about some kind of private case, no problem. I'm always open. But you should realize that right now we are in a very important period where I have to work 24/7, literally. It's been 2 months in a row that I've been working 24/7. So let's appreciate each other's time. Especially, I'm talking about our partners from Vietnam, because they know sometimes when they write to me, it's a late night, but I always answer. But usually our Vietnamese partners are asking pertinent, important questions. So our partners from Vietnam can confirm with their likes and hearts. So friends, I have a request to you. If you write to me, please, it should be on the business, on marketing, and not on technicalities, on technical issues. I think we can call it a day, because we still have quite a lot of work to do. We have a lot of, still not too many days before the end of the promotional offer, and not too many days left until the launch of the Micron Global platform. And on the 26th of February, I hope everything will go according to schedule. We are going to have that meeting for sure anyways. And the work will be started in the announced format. On that day, we will have full understanding of how the marketing part is going to work. I'm talking about both about RSW Systems, Micron Global, and the future funding optimization plan for GTI, so that we could use crowd investing to help GTI to bring the technology to the market as soon as possible, so that we would participate in it to the best of our abilities in terms of fundraising and promotion of the technology to speed up the capitalization and the monetization. So dear colleagues, I'll be waiting for you on the 26th of February at that event. We're going to have all the languages that we have today. Probably we will add Romanian and the Czech language. So we are gonna add, we're gonna give you all the information in all the languages. So I kindly invite you to our meeting on the 26th of February at 3 p.m. European time, 5 p.m. Minsk time. Well, let's put a pin in the time, because let's wait for the official announcement, because I need to have I need to arrange it with our leaders from all the regions, so that time would be suitable for all our time zones. Well, and language groups. So on the 26th of February, we're going to have that meeting. But as for the time of the meeting, please wait for the announcement. We're going to publish an announcement. So friends, thank you very much for being here today. And I would like Dmitry to enable the chat for your feedback. Please give me some feedback, whether you liked the format of such brief, informative meetings, so that we wouldn't waste time on speaking about general things, but rather speak on point. Thank you very much. So let me check the comments. It's very informative, people are saying, giving likes, brief on point, okay, I see, give me a second. So friends, technical questions, guys, should be referred to our customer support, right? What I can tell you that all your questions regarding Micron Global will be answered on the 26th of February. So all of your questions related to Micron Global and other issues, they are well known to us. And we are going to cover them on the 26th. We're going to give you all the information for you to have the full picture, and we're going to answer all of your questions, basically. Okay? So I see that the technical support doesn't work, someone says. Well, it does work. Dear colleagues, Bayan wrote that it doesn't work. Probably you don't know about it, or probably you missed that part. When we had a DDoS attack, when we were subject to DDoS attack, there were problems with the work of the service itself. And our customer support team received like thousands of tickets. And those thousands of tickets are being handled one by one. And if you are worried that you will be ignored or your request will not be handled, don't worry. Don't worry. All the issues related to your packages, purchases, everything will be addressed. Don't worry. In its due time, due course. I repeat, everything related to the Micron Global operation will be covered on the 26th of February. So thank you very much. I invite you kindly to that meeting. I would like to see you there. And see you later. Have a nice Sunday evening and have a nice productive week that will start tomorrow. And on Thursday, we're going to see each other again. Bye-bye.
Lights begin. The code runs clean. Machines awake, but nothing's seen. A measured breath, a silent cue. We start again. We do. Repeat, obey, repeat again. The system speaks, we understand. We can do it. That's enough. We can do it. Hard and rough. We can do it under rule. We can do it. Keep it cool. we stay confined. We can do it. We comply. We can do it. We don't try. We can do it. In the grave. We can do it. Night and day. Motion pure, no cause, no sin. Progress carved in discipline. Silence builds, the world resets. We do what the system expects. We can do it.